YouTube and on the Facebook, and we'll get started in 1 second. So we are looking here for, okay. We're looking here, we want the Talmud, and we want 108b, Shabbos, and 108b, I'm just finding it on Safari for you guys. Okay. We want to find the, okay. What's that noise?
Just so you know, Rabbi.
Yeah.
When you were talking about the two Jews who were fighting each other after Moses Moses killed the Egyptian, like why you fighting each other? And they said because you kill our master or something, or
So we'll talk about that.
The Talmud said that those two Jews were Dasan and Avirham. They eventually told Pharaoh. And
we mentioned that. That's real. We mentioned that this morning. We mentioned
you
that.
Did?
Correct.
Oops.
No problem. No problem. Well, enjoy this piece. So I have it up here. I hope you can all see it. And I'm just going to do a quick share here. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay. And there. And there. And okay. Sorry, guys. Okay. And here.
No problem.
Okay, just one second. I just have to get all these shares up. Okay. Beautiful. And there. And share in a post. Create a post. Okay. Oh, I have to move this aside. Sorry, it's housekeeping. Okay. And post. Okay, good. We're all ready. We're all on the road now. Okay, so here we have the share screen, the 108b. So this is a little bit more about healing, but it's interesting. Ravina Ikla Leve. So the halacha is that we can engage in healing activities where the wound is dangerous. If it's dangerous, it could create a permanent disability. So you can or even if it'll make you very uncomfortable, you can transgress a rabbinic prohibition. If there's any danger to life or limb whatsoever, you can transgress a biblical prohibition on Shabbat. So Ravina Ikla Leve Ravashi. Ravina came to the house of Rashi. Chazisle the dericha lechamora agabe dechare. He saw that a donkey stepped on the back of Ravashi's foot, on the Achilles. For Yosef Katsomas lebachal, he had it in vinegar. Amalei l'savamar, that Rav Hillel says that you're not allowed to use strong vinegar on Shabbos as a medicinal. Amalei gava yad v'gava regel shani. The back of the hand and the back of the foot are different because there's a lot of tendons and things there, and it could be dangerous if the wound is not dealt with. Okay. Now we go to the next piece. Okay. Okay, we did the hyssop already, if you remember. Okay. Now, aval ochelis yoezer, you can't yoezer. Now, what is yoezer? It's a vegetable known as putnak. What is putnak? What do you eat it for? It's eaten to cure liverworms. What do you eat it with? Not with 7 black dates and 7 white dates. What do worms come into being in the liver? From eating raw meat on an empty stomach, from eating fat meat empty stomach, and so on. So apparently all these foods can have the eggs of the worms in them. And when you eat on an empty stomach, it creates the ideal situation for the worms to propagate. So this plant kills the worms. They can't tolerate its presence in the system. It has some kind of chemical that kills those kinds of worms. Again, whether that would work today or not, I don't know. But we are going to look at Rabbi Steinsaltz and see what these plants are. Where did I put Mr. Steinsaltz? Oh, there we are. Okay. So now we're going to take a look at Rabbi Steinsaltz, who is very good at telling us what given plants are. Okay. So we need 109A. Oh, we're getting there. Okay, so what is okay, so we have here okay, so Yoezer is Putnak, and believe it or not, Rabbi Steinsaltz has no idea what it is. Okay, fine, so we don't know what it is.
The plant?
Yeah.
Do some people say it's a special herb or something?
Yeah, it is. We just don't know what it is. In other words, Rabbi Steinsaltz doesn't mention what it is, which means he doesn't know. Okay.
I wonder if it was in my mind the forbidden fruit, like the.
No, the issue is Shabbat.
Yes. I just.
Okay, so.
I mean, there have been stories about. I mean, somewhat, like between the forbidden fruit and this, because we don't know what it is, and some rabbis don't. And then the other story, the different one, where the forbidden fruit is not told in somewhat way. Some say it's an esrog.
Yeah, but this is not a forbidden fruit. This is a completely different thing. This is nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I know. This is just, I'm a little nuts.
That's fine. No, you should share it. Just say it's not. Now, this is very interesting. Haiman de bole chivya, someone who swallows a snake, luchle kashusa b'milcha. He should be fed hops and salt, and then he should run for 3 kilometers. Rabbi Shimi bar Ashi saw a person who swallowed a snake, and Rav Ashi appeared to that person as a horseman. He chased him. He fed him with hops with salt, hops that you make beer with, but also are medicinal, and made him run of him for 3 mil, and the snake came out of him in pieces. Now,
wait. Is it 110?
Now, yeah, we just finished 109B. So the question is, what does it mean a person has swallowed a snake and it comes out in pieces? So Rabbi Steinsaltz has a very interesting reference. He says it's talking about the tapeworm, which when people get infected with tapeworm in their intestines, they're huge, long worms, several feet long. And that's what it means to swallow a snake. Yeah. So the hops, these particular hops, and have the ability, like there are many traditional herbal remedies that can kill tapeworm. When the tapeworm dies, it comes out of the intestines with everything else.
And it's just like the saying in the Pirkei Avos, the more flesh, the more worms.
Right. No, but that's when you die. This is talking about people who get tapeworm, which was a problem in the ancient world because of the lack of hygiene and the way food spoiled and the tapeworm lays its eggs and so on. Okay.
Youth Pirkei Avos is not correct.
No, that's real. Pirkei Avos is talking when a person dies, okay?
I meant the youth Pirkei Avos, not
Don't worry about it, it's real. I'm glad you're joining us. Don't worry. It's a big Talmud and there's a lot of different things there.
Different views, what it means. Thank you.
Okay. Now this is talking about waters from waters that of certain mineral springs that have minerals in them. So the water of the kolim, the water of palm tree waters, means to say that there was a certain spring in Israel that came up between two palm springs and had very strong minerals in it. So the first cup drink loosens the intestines. Another cup causes diarrhea, and the third enters as water, so to it emerges. Without getting into details, if anyone's ever had to, had to do a cleanse, this is the minerals in this have the same effect. That basically they suck water from the body into the intestine and have this effect. Now, Ula said, for me, I drink Babylonian beer, and it's even more effective than palm tree water in causing this. Now, the Babylonian beer was made from dates, from fermented dates, and it's sort of like alcoholic prune juice in its effect on the person. So there are many stories in the Gemara of people who drank too much of it and had to say a lot of ashayotzars. Okay. But it's good if sometimes a person needs to loosen the bowels, so it's good. And
So it's not like prune juice.
Right? No one makes beer. To the best of my knowledge, you can't buy date beer here in this country, but you could make it yourself.
Yeah.
You need a bit, there's so much sugar, you just need a bit of yeast. You can make it yourself if you want to. I take no responsibility for the results.
Rabbi,
Yes.
were the Chazal rabbis into cleansing, purging?
No, I think they saw a need to purge. For example, if someone had worms or someone was constipated and so on.
But not as a regular.
In other words, they're warning you against using it. They don't see it as a good thing, but certainly medicinally to the certainly if a person eats something that is spoiled or poisonous, you want to get rid of everything. You know what I mean?
Not as a colonic or anything like that.
No, I don't think it was done on a regular basis. I think, everyone needs, especially everyone needs this sometimes. The point is, the rabbis are discussing this with regards to Shabbat, that things that are also a food and taste good, you can take, that have medicinal properties, you can take them on Shabbat. Even because rabbinically, there's a decree against taking remedies on Shabbat if you're not in a fair amount of discomfort, or from minor reasons. But things that are also foods are permitted. This is the background to this Aggadot. You should also know that vitamins, because they're nutrients, are considered food. So if you take vitamin and mineral supplements, you're allowed to take them on Shabbat because they're nutrition, they're food. They're not considered medicine.
So it's similar to Rambam's view of food as healing?
Right, yeah, but the point being that nutrients are food, and therefore supplements may be taken on Shabbat. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so a lot of remedies here. Let's move on to the next thing. Jaundice apparently was a problem. Okay.
Rabbi?
Yeah.
Why would there be a question about taking supplements on Shabbat?
Oh, if it's medicine, you can't take medicine unless you're in a fair degree of pain. If it was considered medicine. But since it's considered nutrition, it's not a problem.
So one is concerned about pain in his teeth may not sieve vinegar through them on Shabbat for medicine.
Right, but if it's really, really bothering you, you can. Minor pain, not. If the pain is so serious that it causes you to lay down in bed, you're allowed to take any
medicines to help you.
Yeah. Okay, but we don't want to get stuck in the halachic aspects here, right?
Actually, it's halacha, as if it was written by the Chavetz Chaim, which he took
that's
from.
Mishnah Berurah. That's a much later book. Okay.
Yeah.
So now,
My mother studied it,
yeah. It's a significant book, an important book, Israel.
as well as some other books made of his teachings by.
Right. So he has a
Written
book
by
on
great-
Lashon Hara. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're going to move on. We're going to make a big skip because we have a lot of halacha over here. Okay. Okay. Let's see. So now this is a very interesting piece on about the there's a long discussion as why Jerusalem was destroyed. And there are many different things we feel that were done wrong by the Jewish people at the beginning of the beginning of
First century.
well, yeah. No, I'm saying, but at the end of the Second Temple period, but during that whole period of time. I'm sorry. Thank you, Joe. Yeah. So we have to find, we're getting there. Okay. We did this already. Okay. Why was Jerusalem destroyed? We're getting there. Oh, but here, before that, this famous piece. Okay. So everyone says, why do we say Shalom Aleichem Friday night? Who knows?
I didn't know we do.
We sing Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. We never sang it.
Is it Kabbalistic?
Yeah, well, it's Aggadistic. The source is in what we're reading here in the Gemara. What is Shalom? Who are we greeting?
We're greeting the Shabbos.
Right, but in particular, what does
Shabbat.
Malachei Hasharet mean?
The angels that accompany a person.
Ah, so there we are. Okay, so this is the story. Okay, actually, hold on. Before we get to the story with the angels, we have to read this story. Okay. That's the story I promised you last week when we finished studying Friday. Amalei Kaisel Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya. The Roman emperor said to Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya. Now, when did Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya live? We're going to look this up. This is a atlas of all the rabbis of the Mishnah and the Talmud. I mean, you can find it online, but the book is more convenient. So we're going to look for Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya and find out when he lived. Here we are. So Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya was in the time of the elder Rabbi Gamliel. So he lived at the time of the destruction of the Second Temple, and he was, and apparently he was friendly with one of the Roman emperors, who probably would have been the one after Titus. So let's see, Roman emperors. Okay, let's see what we have here.
His father, what's his name? Vespian?
So Vespian, Titus, and so on here. It would probably be Nerva, who was friendly to the Jews. He only ruled for a year. It wouldn't have been Trajan and Hadrian who hated the Jews, so it would have been Nerva probably.
Yeah.
Or it wouldn't have been Domitian either. So it was probably Nerva,
Nerva, who came
who
after
ruled
in
for
the
a very
year
short time, but the sages liked.
96 to 27 CE.
Right. So so the Roman emperor said to Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya, who often went to Rome to plead the Jewish cause. Mipnei ma'atav shel Shabbos reicho nodeh. Why does the food of Shabbos have such a pleasant smell? I guess he passed by Jewish houses and it had a great smell. We have a tavlin and it's called Shabbos. We have a spice. I know it says dill. It's wrong. It's Shabbos. That we put it in the food and it smells good. Amalo, give me some. He says that if you keep Shabbos, it helps, and if it doesn't help Shabbos, it doesn't help. So whether it is dill or whether it is Shabbat itself, this Shabbat food has a special taste. That's why I once went to, I once passed by a gas station in Kiryas Yoel, the Satmar village, and they sell cholent there on Thursday, and I tried it in the gas station. And I have to tell you, cholent isn't good on Thursday, and it's not good on Sunday. It's only good on Shabbos because it has a special Shabbos spice. Now, I just want to see about this spice, if it's indeed a spice or not. I want to see what Rabbi Steinsaltz has to say. He's always very useful with practical matters. Okay. They didn't put all the pictures online when they put it on Sefaria. Yes. So he says that dill is called sheves, like making dig pickles. But it's a play on the words of Shabbos. So the dill only makes the food smell good and taste good if you keep Shabbos. Now we're going to the Babylonian period, to about the 4th century. The exilarch, the secular head, basically, of the Jewish people, a descendant of David. It's a position that was held until the Muslim conquest of Persia. What does it say? What does it mean the Holy One of God is honored? In Ishayo, Nunchet, it's what Amalei Zeh Yom Kippurim. This is Yom Kippur, when we don't eat and we don't drink. So the Torah says, still honor it with a nice garment. So you wear sneakers on Yom Kippur, but you wear your nicest suit. And what is it with regards to Shabbos? It says to honor. So Rav says you're supposed to bring in Shabbat early. And Shmuel says that you keep Shabbat late, as I told you the story the other day. So then the sons of Rav Papa, Barabba, sold to Rav Papa, his grandsons, in other words. The sons said, what about us? We have meat and wine every day. They were a wealthy family. How do we celebrate Shabbat? Because ordinary people only get meat on Shabbat. They only drink wine on Shabbat. What if you have meat and wine every day? He says, if you normally eat early, eat late. If you normally eat late, eat early. In other words, you should always do something to change Shabbos. So, very interesting thing here. Rav Sheshes Bekaita, Rav Sheshes, when he would teach in Shabbat in the summer, he would put the sages in the sun. And in the winter, he'd put them where it was cold. So they should get up quickly. He didn't want them to sit and discuss Torah all day and forget to enjoy themselves. So he made it uncomfortable, so they would cut their study short and would go home and enjoy good food and good company with their families, because the enjoyment of the body is a holy act of worship of Hashem on Shabbat, as much as davening, as much as learning.
Get rid of the kids.
Okay. And look, and we go further. Rabbi Zera, Mahader Azuzei the Rabban, he would see pairs of sages, of rabbis. They'd be going home and they'd stop to discuss Torah, and he'd say, I beg you, don't desecrate Shabbos by failing to delight in the Shabbat. Go home and enjoy Shabbat with your family. You can study Torah later. So from this, now, anyone who studied a little bit of Talmud knows how important the study of Torah is, how important it was to the rabbis, how they consider it the greatest of all mitzvot. Nevertheless, if one fails to enjoy the Shabbat with his family, with his guests, with good food and good drink, you are desecrating the Shabbat at some level. So as important as Torah study is, this is how we see how great the mitzvah of enjoying Shabbat is, because in essence, Shabbat is the one day where we're elevated to the point that the joy of the body becomes the joy of the soul. And this idea that the body and soul become one, that the physical and spiritual become one, is extremely important.
Rabbi,
Yes,
Is that connected with the idea of Oneg Shabbat?
that is Oneg Shabbat. The Oneg Shabbat is the joy of the body. Absolutely. Because again, when we do Shabbat properly, the heaven and earth are united. That's why we say, the earth and the heaven were finished. It's complete. It's a whole thing, and everything is godly and everything is holy when one does Shabbat properly.
The idea of everything being more delicious on Shabbat, is that from Aggadah or?
It's in the Aggadot. Yeah, that's the spice. It's not the dill, but the Shabbat. It's a play on words, Shabbat and Shevet. It's not the dill, but the Shabbat. In other words, everything is tastier on Shabbat because it's Shabbat.
Is there a list of herbs that are more appropriate for Shabbat?
No, I think everyone should. You should use whatever tastes good to you. That again, the joy of the body is the joy of the soul and the joy of Hashem on Shabbat. We mention here dill because dill has a strong taste, and a good smell. Dill is particularly good in chicken soup, by the way. Now, I should, and some people, because everyone's different. Some people like spicy food. Some people like less spicy food, right? There's the great divide in between East and West in the Yiddish-speaking world, that it's a line that runs basically from northeast to southwest. And on one side of the line, they have sweet gefilte fish. On the other side of the line, they have peppery gefilte fish.
Mhm.
And so the Litvaks and the Germans and the Dutch and the people from Western Poland, from Warsaw on west, like peppery gefilte fish, and the people from the Ukraine and the southern part of Belarus and Galicia and eastern Poland and Romania like sweet gefilte fish. So there's a line, and the line runs right through Belarus. So there are some Lubavitcher Hasidim, which is where the Lubavitcher Hasidim come from. So some like sweet gefilte fish and some like peppery gefilte fish. But all right, the point is people should eat what they enjoy.
How about
The famous joke that at the beginning of the coronavirus thing, so a Sephardi family was invited for Shabbat to an Ashkenazi family. And they immediately, when they came home, they immediately put themselves in quarantine because they couldn't taste anything.
That's supposed to be funny.
Well, it's, sardonic Jewish humor. But for those who don't understand the joke,
No, because
Ashkenazi food is very bland compared to Sephardic food, which tends to be very
exactly.
spicy.
So the Sephardi Jews are laughing at the Ashkenazi diets.
Rabbi, where does
We
herring?
didn't mention this, Rabbi. Do you mind?
Yeah, go ahead.
I somehow didn't feel like I want to get up, like stand up and do this at tefillin. I did the Sephardic way of
Sitting
tefillin.
down. Okay, that's okay. According to the Kabbalah, you put on the tefillin sitting down. I put them on standing up, but it's entirely appropriate to follow the
I don't know what
Sephardic
kind
way
of Jew
if
I
you're-
am, other than
you're
I'm just
tired.
a religious Jew. Then I follow one thing. According
Don't
to
worry
some,
about it.
yeah.
Don't worry
other than-
about it. It's
I'm
all
just-
good. Someone else had a question?
Yeah, I'm just.
No
Trying
problem. Someone else had a question?
Yes, I had a question about herring. Where does herring fit on that dividing line?
Herring is universal, but people in the more southern climes, actually some of the Dutch like the sweet herring, the matjes herring. But the herring originally comes from Holland, and the Dutch monopolized the herring trade, and the herring that Jews ate all over Eastern Europe originally came from the Dutch. Because there are lots and lots of herrings in the North Sea.
Herring, I remember in the Ashkenazi communities in Poland was done every Shabbos for Shalosh Seudos.
Right, the schmaltz herring.
Herring,
You prepare it
herring.
before Shabbos. You have to cut it open and cut it up and put it in
No,
oil.
that's preparation, yeah.
Yeah. Well, right, because they used to get the whole fish. But yeah, I mean, herring was universal across the Ashkenazi world. There were different kinds of preserved fish the Sephardim made, but across the whole Ashkenazi world, that's universal. Basically, from France all the way to Russia, you know, from the Crimea all the way to Hamburg, all Jews. Herring was not just a Jewish food, but herring was very big by the Jews. And you know what? If you eat herring and onions, you eat herring and onions and potatoes with the skins on, you have pretty much all the nutrients that you need, by the way.
Herring, beans.
There you are. But you know what? But you know, Jews have moved away from herring. You know what the herring of the 21st century is?
Sushi.
Yeah, sushi. Wherever you go, all the Jews are eating sushi. So
Sure.
you move from herring to sushi. What can you do? Okay.
And
Andrew,
guess why? Because in the merit of the Japanese who saved us Jews in
Very nice, because the Japanese saved a lot of Jews to Shanghai. So
Yes.
eat sushi in the merit. Very good, Asriel. You see, that's a what's his name? Our rabbi from Kadima was in Shanghai. No, what was his name? Who remembers?
yeah.
Yossel.
What?
Who was the rabbi from Kadima who was in Shanghai during the war?
In Shanghai?
Yeah, he was in the Mirror Yeshiva in Shanghai.
Oh, no, he was not in Shanghai. You're talking about Weisvogel?
Yeah, he wasn't in Shanghai.
No,
He just helped
no.
out the people in Shanghai.
He left the yeshiva. He had a British passport. He was English, London.
Ah, okay. So
So
then he
he
was
left-
helping out because
he
he was
left-
originally from the Mirror Yeshiva.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
Oh.
my dad thought he was there to
Yeah.
live, but
No, he
maybe
wasn't.
wrong. But if he has a British passport and lives
Okay.
in
Anyway.
Britain to help with the Jewish people, that's good.
Yeah. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a good day. We've gone a bit over, but it was fun, and we will see more about Shabbat on 119B in the coming tomorrow, God willing. Not tomorrow, Thursday. And everyone join us for Parsha in a little while. All the
Don't-
best. Have a great day.
Claire.
Thank you,
Have a
Rabbi.
good time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All welcome.
Thank you.